But right now I've got Ozzie Jurek on the line with me. Ozzie, if you forgive me, I want to come back to something we discussed last week because, man, did we ever get a lot of reaction to it. And that is this whole idea that, David Rosenberg, by the way, Gluskin chef, the economist who's so well known, kind of reiterated what you had been saying a week ago when he said, hey, just remember, last November, the Fed started asking you to track when you sold your primary residence. And the whole plan, what we discussed, was they want to, it's not law yet, but, there's a lot of talk that they're going to make, right now primary residents have a tax exemption when, from any capital gain, but not that portion that you may have used for your home office.
Exactly, and that was very clear. I mean, we could write off some expenses, even the interest on our mortgage, not the mortgage, but the interest and so on. But boy, did my phone run off the hook because there's so many people working from home. We all have a lot of small businesses, particularly in the outlying areas, and we've been able to do it. One guy said, look, I get a $200 tax break. I better stop that right away. I said, well, don't stop anything. Read up on it. It's not law yet. So what we've done on our website, Mike, we put up, Cheryl Gallant is the MP that brought it to my attention. She has it on her website. And then I posted three links, one to Revenue Canada, how they treat a home office, and two, senior accounting firms as to what the current law is. But hey, I'm not holding my breath that after the minister actually said that this would be an exemption to the capital gain exemption, the home office, I'm kind of worried.
Well, and that's great, by the way. Go to Jurek.com, Jurock.com, because I think it's great to get that kind of information. But I'll reiterate that that's also something that David Rosenberg had put on his eye. He's calling this the tax grab budget coming up this Wednesday. So, anything's possible in this one, but I think this is probable. I actually think we've moved from possible to probable when we talk to this kind of a thing. Hey, Ozzie, I want to also talk to you about another area here. This is one I have to describe for everybody listening who's not out of that Metro Vancouver area. They may well be familiar with Point Roberts, but, if you're with me today in Calgary or in Edmonton, even maybe Victoria, here's the deal. This is you have Tawasin, which is south of Vancouver, best weather in the country, I think. Maybe Victoria has that designation too, but great weather down there. Well, this is this weird little outcropping of land that is part of the United States. It's surrounded by Canada. It's like a little peninsula of the U.S., and it's called Point Roberts. And I'm just thinking, you've mentioned this to me before, Ozzie, that this may be a sleeper area.
Yeah, it really is. It is. First of all, it's very beautiful. It's got a gorgeous marina, but the big thing is with our prices going nuts in the Lower Mainland, it is a lot cheaper in Point Roberts. Well,
they also have a golf course, Ozzie. I would have thought you would put that forward. Or are you banned?
They have a golf course. In fact, it was for sale, has been sold. They just closed it for repairs and will reopen it in the next couple of months as a brand new golf course. Absolutely, yeah.
Now, give me an idea what kind of prices we're talking about, because you can get waterfront down there, and virtually everything is close to the water no matter what.
Yeah, and the big problem was always that we always have this, it has a water problem, because the water comes from the Metro Vancouver water system, so there was always thought that the capacity wasn't there, but that is now clear that the water is fine, it's flowing freely. So now, when you look at it, you can buy a nice, brand new ocean view home for around $500,000. You can get closer to the beachfront at around $1 million, and you have a lot of options. So it really has, when we went to the website, just looking up, anybody can look it up, tender-loving cottages for under $200,000, vacant lots under $60,000. Try finding that anywhere near White Rock or Tawasin.
How does it work, though, for a Canadian, like if you want to just go there, again, the residency thing, like if you're a Canadian snowbird?
Well, you have to go over the border. It's just like any border, and it's just like any part of the U.S. Generally speaking, they are much nicer. I mean, you always keep hearing the story about somebody being sort of unduly upheld, but generally speaking, it is a little sleepy area of the United States, and every other law applies there. But we were talking to some locals there, and we are being told that there's 2 months being added to the vacation area that you can have over there. So for your vacation home, Point Roberts is a real option now because it's so close and so much cheaper.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Well, that'll be one to keep an eye on. Hey, do you have any hot properties for us?
Yeah, just very briefly, we got 110 requests for the 100 properties under 100,000 last week, and everybody that sent it to us, you got them. But there were 3 whose email we just could not hear on the telephone. We had 7 people listen to the email. So if we couldn't, you said it so fast we couldn't hear. Okay, this week's hot property, a tender-loving cottage, $185,000 for 1 bedroom, $199,000 for 2 bedroom in Point Roberts, a third of an acre, $45,000, and a 4,200 square foot mansion for $1,400,000 in Point Roberts.
Interesting stuff as always, Ozzie, and I would really invite people to go to the website, jurock.com, jurock.com, and check out this stuff about if you do have a home office, whether you have a home-based business or whether that's one of your chief places to work out of. Maybe you're in the realty business or other sales profession. I mean, there's a list of what you could be doing out of your home, but a lot of people are doing it. I mean, a huge percentage of people doing it, actually. Well, go to jurock.com and get the latest on that. Ozzie's put on what the current laws are from Revenue Canada, plus a couple of senior accounting firms commenting on the current law, but that's something we'll all be keeping our eye on, including Ozzie Jurock. Ozzie, thanks for taking the time. I know you've got to go skiing today, so we appreciate it.
The last day of the year, yes, and it was 10 centimeters new snow.
Oh, my goodness gracious.